It's Monday. That means go take a bathroom break first. Make sure you use the restroom, whatever you need to do. Get a snack, get a drink. Get ready to get comfortable for about an hour because it's y'all's favorite video, Monday project update videos. And there have been some changes to the rankings, some updates to some projects, and I even created a new section for the projects. And one is already victim of that new section. What is it? Let's find out. Happy Monday. It's Monday here in Louisiana. What do we do on Mondays? Eat red beans and rice. So just got home from work. Couldn't wait to do this video. Monday video is important. Before we go any further, the usual YouTube spiel. Please hit that thumbs up button. Just take half a second for me. Hit that thumbs up button. All these projects we talk about today, I have them hashtagged in the bottom. They're tagged. So when you hit that like button, you know the YouTube algorithm's going to push them out to anybody looking for information on those videos. If you are new here, welcome. And hit the subscribe button for me. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you keep up with all the videos we're doing. So if you're paying attention at all, it is crazy times we're living in right now at this minute, this day, this week, last week of crypto. You wake up one day and Bitcoin's going through the roof. Wake up the next day, Bitcoin dominance is going down, Ethereum's going through the roof. That's it. All season's here. Look at all over YouTube. You can't miss it. All season's here. Get ready for all season. Wake up the next day, everything's crashing. Oh, hold on. We didn't really mean that today that alt season was starting. The next day, Bitcoin's going up. Then Ethereum's going up. You wake up the next day after that, Ethereum's going up by itself. Here we go. All season's ready, baby. Here we go. And then stuff starts crashing again, and it's rinse and repeat. Okay, everybody on YouTube's, hold on. Well, we didn't really mean alt season was now. Alt season's coming up in a month or two. Then it just rinses and repeats. It seems like every day. Then you get Ethereum going up again. And next thing you know, yesterday you had all these people talking about Ethereum's going to be at a new all-time high. And all these shorts will get liquidated. When these shorts got liquidated, that was going to push Ethereum easily over 5,000. It was just going to soar. But guess what? Whether you want to argue it got manipulated, which is what I think, or it naturally happened, the shorts won. And the shorts won big. And anybody who had longs going because they were listening to those YouTube channels, they got smoked. And I think that's probably what happened to led to a lot of this. I wouldn't bet on anything right now. We're going to look at some Bitcoin dominance in a little bit, look at the crypto markets just a little bit before we get into our projects. You know, that's what we do. Just to kind of give us an idea of when we see our projects going up or down, we know that's what they should be doing or not. So let's take a look real quick. So here's Bitcoin. You know, we were here a couple of days ago, a week ago, somewhere around this 116, 115, 16,000 range. And 7 days later, you see this one big wick that comes up and it just easily gets brought down again. You're starting to see, I don't know if I need to draw another one of my lines, but you're starting to see kind of a pattern here. Now look, that's a sharp drop. Don't get me wrong. You draw a line from here down here. That is a sharp drop, buddy. I can't see that. Can't see that keep going. This is when I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But who knows? Then you had Ethereum. When we did our video last week, Ethereum was right here. And look, this has come up. Don't get me wrong. We were in the 3,000s, hit the 4,000s. We were coming up. And you had this huge wick. But y'all know by now, if y'all been in crypto longer than a minute or a day, y'all know when we get a huge wick like this, it's normally not natural. It's normally not sustainable. We like these gradual days like this. At least I do. To me, that's way more sustainable Because when you have this, you start having this. Last night, we talked about, they talked about a lot of videos I watched, this 5,000. If this would have hit 5,000, a lot of shorts got liquidated. Now listen, despite what you want to say about the man, despite the problems he has now in life, one thing BitBoy used to talk about, he was not wrong on this conspiracy. Last bull market, he talked a lot about these manipulations where when these CEXs knew that they were going to gain or lose a lot of money, certain levels, they would release, sell, buy tokens or whatever, so that a lot of these liquidations didn't happen. Or if they were going to benefit from them, they try to get them to happen. I ain't guaranteeing that's what happened this time, but I think it's awfully funny that you have this momentum going up, and right before all these liquidations happen, you have a crash, and a hard crash. So whether you want to call this kind of a reset, you're back to kind of where you were right before this huge jump started. Coincidental? I don't know. One thing I do want to hit on real quick is I've shown you all this chart before. I drew these circles kind of showing where we were when the reds are where the alt seasons, blue is where either bear markets and strictly kind of a Bitcoin season. And then same thing, we started dropping again. We had an alt season, gradually went up again, like the bear market, kind of like what you had here. Now here you go again. This is the weekly chart. So we really kind of want to see this green wick go away on this Bitcoin dominance. But this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. I keep telling y'all, I really think you're not going to see a alt season till closer to October, November, December, when you're going to see a really strong one. You kind of follow this one, you're going to get into that same kind of area. Who knows? You know, they mentioned last week about possibly 2 rate drops in the United States before the end of the year. And that's what led to a lot of this upwards price movement. But, you know, we kind of heard that before. Then when we don't get that price at that rate drop, or the rate stays the same, then you get this crash. And, you know, I remember the good days back in crypto when crypto wasn't tied to all that. We didn't care what was happening. But like I said, and I've said it many times in many videos, you got to take the good with the bad. When you open up all these ETFs, you open up all this retail, you want all these big whales coming in. When you want all that into crypto and you're inviting all into crypto, you're now inviting that also. So that's the good and the bad. All right, so to finally get to what y'all came here for, talking about all the projects I'm in, what the weekly payouts look like and what they're averaging per day, here we are. I have to say there have been some updates to some projects, and some projects have not did an update since my last update video last Monday. Kind of sad, but I guess you can't give updates all the time. But we'll go ahead and hit each one and see how they look for right now. The one thing I want to address real quick is, without being too long and not getting on my soapbox, is there have been some comments on DePin projects. And is DePin necessary? Is DePin waste? Is just a waste in crypto? This kind of reminds me, for those, and look, I'm sorry I'm getting on my soapbox here, so y'all gonna have to bear with me for a second, but this kind of reminds me of ham radio. For the few of y'all who are probably familiar with ham radio, you know, ham radio started strictly as what they call CW. That's the Morse code, SOS, ... dash thing. And that's how it really kind of started. Then it, you know, it had voice. But as it has grown over the years, even to now, there's all kinds of different modes in contest and going into parks and doing different things where you can send data to each other over ham radio waves. And some people love that the hobby is going to that. It brings more people in. And to me, it's necessary to keep the hobby going, to bring younger people in. And some people absolutely hate it because to them, ham should only be Morse code, CW, and voice. And that's it. Those 2 things. And you find that they have those kind of people in crypto. People think Bitcoin, and it should be only Bitcoin. And anything else is trash, and everything else should be Bitcoin only. And Bitcoin should be the only thing that succeeds. You know, Bitcoin maxis. Then you have, you know, some people who just believe it should be just some alt tokens and additional to Bitcoin. And then, you know, you have people who don't think there should be gaming involved in it. And yeah, people who don't think DePin should be involved in it. People who think DePin will only make a few cents a month for us. And you really can't argue with them right now. And it's also, what are you trying to get out of DePin? Now, look, I've did videos on all this in the past. I don't want to rehash it all, but it's something I just wanted to mention because I'm seeing a lot more of it, because majority of our projects we're about to go over, you're not making much. You know, if you were going to do a full-time job and I'm telling you, hey, I'm paying you $1.40 a day, you laugh at me and walk away. But at $1.40, that's some damn good returns on DePin. Anything over $1 is almost a good day. But when you sit back and think about that, that's ludicrous when you think about it. But like I've tried telling people, if you watched my video last night about some passive income projects, I tried telling people, yes, when you're making some of these projects and you're making 50 and 60 cents a day, that doesn't sound like a lot. But the whole hope with a lot of these projects is, at least in my case, individually, you're not making squat. But right now, I'm currently in 15 different projects plus 4 more testnet. That's going to be 19, but that's not also not included Honeygain's pulling Byte bits. So I'm in like 20, 15, 16, I'm in 18 full-time projects, and eventually 22 if they all go mainnet. 22 projects. You would think, God, man, he must be making some money, but I'm not. Like right now, you know, some of these projects I'm making $1.37, and I'm gonna go over in a minute, but 18 cents or 28 cents. But I'm also making almost $15 a day total. You see the difference? Because I've always looked at it as, if I stack these projects up, instead of it being like this, if I stack these projects up, eventually it's going to be this much a day. And then when you look at $15 a day for a month, you're looking at $450, almost $500. Especially if we have some kind of alt season. That's kind of how I'm stacking some of this stuff. Now, I'll also go against myself what I just said and say, but some of these projects of what they're paying out is complete horse manure. But I just wanted to hit on that DePin has its place. There are some projects that do have a place, and they went the DePin route when they could have went somewhere else. Some of our projects have a legitimate cause or the legitimate need that we can get behind. So I don't think DePin is just gutter thing like some people, like you're starting to see this mentality on X and these different places. I don't believe that, but to each your own. All right, so starting off, still in #1 place, easily #1 spot right now. If you can get a hold of the miner, and look, somebody corrected us earlier in my Discord about what's a miner. I haven't mined in 3-4 years. Look, they still call them miners. It ain't just us calling them miners. You look on Helium Deploy and everywhere else, yes, they still call them miners. So whatever. But still in first place is going to be Chirp. Chirp has had some price reduction a little bit. Only 6 or 7% in the last week, but still a little bit down, which has brought our average price down. We were making about $5 a day last week. We're now at 6 cents, a little over 6.5 cents, which brings it down to $4.88. Hell, right now in DePin, that's a good price. So for Chirp, you haven't really been seeing hardly any updates with them recently. Only update they've really had recently is talking about the Wings of Kronos. And I'm gonna tell you, I've been hearing about the Rings of Kronos now for months, and they kept saying it was coming soon, coming soon. Still sitting here waiting for it. I don't know if this is gonna be like the Pokemon thing where, you know, you look through your phone at the real scenery behind you, which is real life scenery, through the camera, and a Pokemon ring jumps up in front of you. I don't know if it's gonna be something similar to that, but they've been talking about it over and over, and now they're saying because of us voting or whoever voted on it, they have kind of decided what countries are going to see some of those Rings of Kronos and stuff like that. So Chirp KAGE is still going on. I'm still running it. They have not done anything about the cheaters. and I'm sick of even discussing it. I won't even go into Discord right now because the fact that you even have mods who admit that some of that the leaderboard is suspicious even to them, but they've been checked and they're legit. It's impossible. It's impossible to keep scanning the same dense areas over and over and over and over and keep getting the millions a day you're getting. I'll say the million points every day that they're getting. So that's about it for Chirp KAGE. All right, so moving on is going to be next, number 2, GEODNET, still hanging on to number 2. Slight, very slight increase in token price, which is a little disappointing because we did have a pretty decent rise when all that other stuff was rising up. But the other tokens and stuff, but kind of mellowed back down. Making still right now after the halving they had a couple months back, we're still making 12 geode per day. So 12 geode per day is roughly $1.75 per day that we're making in GEODNET. You can see the price here. We were at 15 cents a week ago and we're down to 14 cents now. So we've had about a penny drop. We did have, like I said, a nice little increase bump up during the middle of the week, but it wasn't sustainable when everything else started dropping. This dropped too. For the month is down 13%. I have full faith in GEODNET, probably one of the strongest projects of all the projects that I discussed in this board. I think GEODNET's the strongest project right now. That's full mainnet. So I keep saying every week, the price don't bother me. The price don't bother me. It's starting to bother me a little bit, but I also have the best faith that this project will recover because the amount of customers that they have signed up, maybe, you know, and again, I don't know the full tokenomics, but maybe a little bit more money should go into liquidity. I don't really see any, I haven't seen any announcements of burns and stuff lately. Maybe they just need a little kickstart, kick in the pants. Looking at their announcements, they have announcements. They had, actually, this was this morning, an AMA with Drone Dash. I probably should have caught that. I went through a drone seminar at work a few days ago, actually. So I guess I should have kind of caught this, but it's Monday at work. I wouldn't have had no time with AMA. Even if I knew about it, I wouldn't have had time with AMA on Mondays. Mondays is very bad for a lot of people. But GEODNET also has an update posted here about the issues that they've had with the high fixed ADS-B stations, high fixed stations LNA range, and this is going to be for the Wingbits / combined GEODNET devices. So you can check that out. I'm sure we've talked about it nauseously over and over and over ad nauseum, whatever you want to call it. So check it out if you need to check it out. All right, so moving on to our next one. Our next one's going to be number 3. Number 3 spot is Onocoy. I know some people have complained about what their monthly tokens were. I think that's just because it was new, and people, you know, they really think that as a new project, they should be making a certain amount. They should be making more, whatever. But as you can see here, out of the 20 projects I'm in, you can see that it's number 3 at $1.51. Token price has steadily come down since it's TGE or mainnet, whatever you want to call it, but it's still number 3 right now and still holding on. So Onocoy, the announcements, they had a ticket giveaway if you feel like trying to get to breaking DePin in Zurich. They got 3 free tickets if that's for you. Check it out. I don't know if I announced this or not last. Probably not. I don't think I talked about this on my live on Thursdays, but there's a partnership alert. Onocoy with WeatherXM. This can be very interesting. This one's long overdue. It makes sense. Does it? Does it make sense? Onocoy for satellite. I don't see what Onocoy, was it RTK, whatever it's called, the, you know, very fine weather, very fine location, defined location stuff and everything they do why that has anything to do with weather. But hey, if this helps Weather XM, I'm all for it, because we're going to talk about them when it gets down to it. So more details soon. So let's see. Let's try to stay positive, and you know, we'll see what that brings. So Onocoy's price, again, it has been slowly kind of falling. It's not really falling that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, it was at 4 cents in August 2 weeks ago. So, you know, once it had this little jump up to 6 cents, but really it's been kind of holding steady right now. So, you know, we'll stick with that for now and see what happens with Onocoy. Moving on, next is going to be ROVR. I tell you all this all the time with ROVR. One of the good things with ROVR is the price hasn't really moved that much. I remember being, when I started this back in June, I remember being right over a penny, if I'm not mistaken. So it stayed kind of close. The problem is with I drive for work every day, every other day, whatever, is different every other day. Also, I drove to my fantasy football draft on Saturday. So some of the ROVR I just got dropped this morning included that. So it's very hard for me to figure out what I'm going to make in ROVR, what you're making. I kind of averaged out my kilometers per day when I do a little bit extra driving. You know, I do the lunch, or if I go to a meeting and stuff like that. And I'm guesstimating I'm making about $1.40. I'm trying to kind of use the same numbers every week to keep this uniform. Only real big announcement from ROVR is, and I told you all this last week, they were very close. The ROVR light cone, I still can't say that word. I don't know why. Light, because I always want to say Litecoin. Light cone, the light cone has finally sold out. That was batch 2. I don't know how many that was in the batch, but again, this thing's going to make some good money. Not financial advice. You know, the whole deal, the whole shtick. But I'm making $1.50 per day at 1.6 tokens. I think this makes 16 tokens. So I'm making $1.40 a day. You're going to be making $14 a day with this. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with the token and stuff like that. But I mean, now don't get me wrong, this thing ain't cheap. But there's no way my wife will let me put this on top of the car. She puts up a GPS and 4 phones in the dashboard now, but there's no way she's letting me put this on top of the car. No way. But for some people who don't care, they're going to make some pretty good income with this. And I don't know why, but for some reason, ROVR always has these crazy lines like this that are real crazy, jagged, whatever you want to call them. But we're at exactly where we were a week ago. And even for the month, like I was saying, you're at 1 cent, you're at 0.0097 right now. So yeah, with 0.3 of a cent down, I don't think that's bad at all. So ROVR has been kind of holding the line. Not a really lot of volume on the dexes and stuff like that, which I'm gonna talk about dexes when it comes to Wingbits. I'm gonna say my 2 cents on that and piss a few people off. But yeah, that's ROVR. I like being part of the project so far. I'm just accumulating. I know me driving the same routes back and forth probably is not making the right amount of money. I don't know what the rules are. I know that was supposed to get changed in July. So me driving this, I've been trying to drive a little bit different ways back and forth to work. Like this evening, I took a different way home, a little bit longer, not by much, and probably avoided some traffic. I'm the kind of guy that I'll drive an extra 5 minutes to keep moving at a faster pace than sitting in traffic, even though it probably still take less time to get home. That's me. I can't sit still. So I took a different ride home. Part of it was me thinking with ROVR, I haven't taken this way home in some time. I'm taking this way home. And I try to change it out like that. All right, moving on to our next video. I'm sorry, our next project. In 5th place this week is Junk. I know y'all expecting something different, but right now we have Junk. Junk's had a little bit of a price increase. We're making about 269,000 junk per day. that varies a decent amount. One day it'll be 250 or 240,000. Then another day it's like 280, 290,000. I don't know why there's a big variance. I am not boosting anything anymore. Running the boost pool or anything. I am likely going to attempt to sell. I have a 25% boost I bought, and I got a 5 and some 1s and halves or something like that. But that NFT, if I can figure out how to sell it, I am likely going to try to sell it at some point, because I just don't see me participating in the boost pool. Right. Again, listen, I'm going to tell you all this, but if you know anything about this channel, I can tell you all this Monday, and next Monday come out with a completely different plan. That's why this is always fluid. That's why you got to subscribe, because I'm always changing my game plan. What I'm just to kind of remove the little bit of doubt I still have in my head, I've had people tell me I need the boost only a little bit more than whatever second place is, or first place. I will be in first place. So whatever second place is, you're going to have to monitor it more. The problem is the last time I did a boost, I lost tokens. I boosted on the Monday instead of whatever, but either if I would have boosted on the Sunday and got those Sunday tokens, I still would have lost about 2 million tokens. That's not going to work. So I think it was 2 million. But anyway, I want to try to boost one more time, just a little more than first place. And at the very least, I'll probably I'll break even. If I break even, there's no reason for me to hold on to these boost things. Now, if you have a couple of 25% and you want another 25% that really will put you over that limit, you know, that a good threshold, hey, that might be an idea for you. But right now, I can't see me doing it. So the junk token has been moving. Actually, junk token, since I just updated it. It was at 51, right about 51 when I dropped it. I mean, when I updated my sheet. So it's dropped down a little bit. But I don't understand how $25 is going to drop down this price that much. The whole remove thing, I don't like the way that looks. But I'm going to tell you, there's several projects that have this remove and this add thing. I just don't care for it. But either way, it is what it is. But, you know, $22,000 of liquidity. You sell $25 and it drops down like this for $25. But it is what it is. I've never sold with this project. I'm just holding on to those tokens for right now. But, you know, right now I know my device is working. You know, it has that dual miner on it with that and the Bitcoin to go to the Bitcoin pool in case they happen to get lucky with a Bitcoin. But that's about it for junk. And we'll just keep on rolling and see what happens. Coming in 6th place is Entropy, as Grumpy calls it, or Entropy. This price is volatile as hell. Seems like y'all degens, as soon as it gets any kind of momentum and starts going up, the degens just want to come in and sip their profits and kill the momentum with a bat to the kneecaps. I don't understand it. This is a project that's not supposed to be selling. And yet you have people who sell, and you have people who contact me who say, hey, Grumpy, can you help me out? For some reason, my Ashler's not working no more. Well, did you sell? Yeah, well, I sold the first week after rewards. I just wanted to test it out and see if I could claim rewards and sell them. Well, that's why you can't use it no more. Go check and see if you have strikes with the G deleter. Yep, I sure do. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if there is a fix. I don't know if you can just buy the tokens back and beg for forgiveness, or you got to buy a new NFT. I don't know what that is because I'm not going through that, so I'm not going to know. Yes, profits have come down a hell of a lot, like a lot of y'all said they would. But that was common sense. Anytime you have this many Ashlers that are being sold, this was going to happen. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I wish that I could get my hat straight? Because it feels like it's not straight, but it looks straight in this camera. It's optical illusion. But do I wish maybe they would take a break on the Ashlers? Yes, because this is going to get worse. You know, everybody's only supposed to have 5. I just think that most people buying them right now, people who already have them, I would like to see it expanded out more to more people. But anyway, to make a long story short, Entropy has come out with their own store. I'll have a link in the description if you want to buy one and get a discount. But the store does have them. I also have a friend at work who wants to sell one, so I can vouch for him. And I think all he wants is whatever he paid for it. So if somebody's interested in buying that, contact me on the side. Y'all contact me through my Discord, PM me or something about that. And at least you know I can vouch that it's a legit Ashler that hasn't been opened. What it is he only bought one NFT. It's a guy at work. He bought one NFT. He already had an ESP32. He didn't realize he was going to need that NFT for the ESP. He thought, hey, I'm buying an Ashler. I just need an NFT for that Ashler. He does not want to go spend the money on an NFT right now. So he does have that Ashler for sale if somebody wants it. And I don't think he's trying to make anything off of it. He just wants it sold and his money back. So as we see with the Entropy price, it has also dropped since I updated my price earlier when it was at 7. So that price has come down too. So it's probably gonna be a little bit less than $1.37, a little bit, not much. But you see some buys and some sales and stuff going on with that. But like I said, it just seems like every time it starts getting some type of bounce back, somebody sells and then bounce back, and then people start selling, and this was a hard drop also. But then big purchase, and then people start selling again for a project that don't sell. When you look at the NFTs and what they've been doing lately, you can see that there's been 21 NFTs that are sold. They have some right now for 1.5 Solana, which is actually a pretty good price compared to what some of these have been going for as far as what they were listed for. These are apes, which apes don't have the bonus like the whales do. The whales have it's a 1.2 bonus or something like that. And I think the apes might be just a 1% bonus. But another thing is where the snakes are. There's actually one time these snakes were going for like 4 because I own one. I keep trying to figure out when I'm going to sell one. But a lot of people need the snakes to get the trifecta, which is the 2% bonus in rewards. And the first snake right here is 2.9 Solana. Solana's come down a little bit, so this is not that bad of a price. What you do notice also, though, is that when you look at what some of the previous buys have been, only 1.2. This person got a darn good deal, buying one for 1.2, sell them for 1.1, 1.2. But you do have some 2.2s that were sold, snakes for 1.6. That's darn good. I don't know what they were doing, but it must have been some kind of fantasy football deal in there in between. But so you do have the NFTs being sold also. As far as future plans, I know this project, watching what's going on in the Discord, haven't really talked to these guys that much lately, just been busy with other stuff, but I know they have bigger and better plans for Entropy, partnering with other projects, more, iterations of Entropy A and B and stuff later. I'm not going to start hyperventilating too much over the price because, I did pretty good with them in the past. So I have a good amount of Entropy. I have 7 different Ashler miners going on right now between, actually it's more than that. No, 7. Yes. 7 Entropy Ashlers right now going. So I'm going to leave it, just let them run. And if they're making $1.37 a day, altogether, they're making me pretty decent. So I'll just let them run and see what happens. I do understand. I've had several y'all who contacted me saying, well, it doesn't really make any sense if I'm gonna buy an Ashler on top of an NFT. Look, I get it. I don't disagree with any of that. But we can say that about a lot of projects. I would say that there are a lot of people involved in this project, and you can see the community, how big the community is. It should be here for a while. That I don't think that would be the concern. Never financial advice because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But listen, I get it. A lot of y'all contacted me about what the prices, what we were getting just a month or 2 ago, and what we're getting now. It was kind of expected. Just keep on plugging away. Moving on, and this will be the last time you see this project at this level. unless something drastically reverses course. You know, what I call the Cracker Barrel of DePin. And if for y'all who have not been following the news at all with all the nonsense going on with Cracker Barrel went woke. I know some people can't stand the word. Some people say the word's overused, but that is basically what happened. They changed the logo, took the old man out, and people are losing their minds over it because now the food tastes horrible. I don't know. So Earnapp, which had a very good thing going, decided that they basically realized they're paying way more than what the other projects are paying. Between Honeygain and Pawns and whatever else projects are out there, that they were paying too much. And that is said basically, not in those exact words, but basically in those exact words in the Discord, is we're making our stuff model kind of like, you know, if those other projects are paying that, why would we pay that? Blah, blah, blah. And also that the United States was making basically too much, but the other countries weren't making enough. And I had several of y'all contact me from other countries saying, hey, we understand what you're making in Earnapp, but our country makes a fraction of that. And it sucked. I completely understand it sucked. The other countries got a boost. Instead of them paying per gigabyte now, they're paying per day. A lot of people have an issue with that. A lot of people are seeing that, and this is their claims. I have no way of proving them right or wrong, but they're trying to say that they're seeing more data be used by Earnapp when they're paying a flat rate per day because they don't have to pay you per gigabyte anymore. Listen, I don't have time to sit here and measure out what my apps with Earnapp are doing. But I can tell you that if people start posting more evidence of that, I might have to think twice about Earnapp. What you're going to see from me now is Earnapp and Honeygain and Pawns and all these other ones are all going to be on the same line because as of right now, they're all paying about the same, 20 cents per gigabyte. I did a huge video yesterday covering it, and you can go catch that video. I released it first thing this morning, and you can check it out. And it talks about some new projects we found also, and kind of how you can stack all these projects up and make a little bit decent rewards because you're stacking several of these projects up. I even went and checked Honeygain, and I'm going to talk about this more on Honeygain, but I was quite surprised in what I've made so far with Honeygain. But Earnapp, they couldn't handle having a good thing, and they throttled back those rewards, and people are pissed off. I think what annoys me the biggest, and look, I know I'm a huge Wingbits fan, so I have to watch how I mention this, and I've really pushed Entropy in the past. But when you're in the Discord for Earnapp, the amount of cheerleading that's going on. Listen, understand. I used to be this channel used to be called the Grumpy Dad. I'm sorry, the Grumpy Poor Dad. And apparently, I offended some people because I'm not poor. It was a joke, basically, that as a father of two teenagers, a daughter who played travel ball, softball, son going to college, I'm broke. But you're right. Technically, compared to what some countries have and some people have it, you're right. I'm rich, which my wife may argue with. But look, I knew what y'all meant. So some of these people who are in third world countries that can run this stuff, this boost really helps them. And I'm happy for that. I am generally, no sarcasm, happy for that. I want everybody to succeed. I don't care what country you're in. But the guy in charge of Earnapp is taking all of that praise. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you did with this app. And he has it stuck in his head that he did this great thing. And every now and then, people like me and a few other people who are knocking him saying, but you killed people in the US. He ain't worried about that. He has so many people cheerleading that how great he did with this app and how great he did for these other countries. He doesn't care if we all uninstall it. And he tells us straight up. And if you look through the Discord the last 2-3 days, somewhere in one of them, he says, basically, I'll see you when you return. When people talk about that, they're going to leave this now because of, you know, what the rewards are and stuff like that. He don't care. You know, I think that's sad when he says, you know, Honeygain's making the same thing we're paying y'all, so you should be happy. You're not supposed to be happy with what your competition doing. You want more people to come to you. You should be doing better. Look, I know I did all this last night again, but it just still pisses me off a lot, as y'all can tell. I was making very good money with Earnapp, but hey, like all the good things in life, it has to come to an end. All right, so moving on from that, before my blood pressure goes up, then my medicine can't help. Moving on to number 8, which the way it's looking soon will be the last, probably one of the last this week, next week. It might have to get moved into the next section below it. Y'all know what that section is. Killing me softly. But Weather XM. Can one of y'all throw me a bone here on what the hell's going on with this project? Can y'all tell me another project that had so much potential that seems to not be holding on to reality? Or just holding on like they're holding on to a greased pole during Mardi Gras. The free fall is just happening. Only down basically 9-10% for a week, but 43% in a month, 44% in a month, 17.5 cents down to 10 cents, nonsense, whatever. Nothing in announcements. Did they do a one-time burn a while back in liquidity because they had one customer and that was about it? I know I'm sounding like a repeat record, but a lot of these projects, that's what it was supposed to be, is as their customers were paying, or they were going to take some of that money and buy into to liquidity to boost the token up, buyback burn type of scenario. Weather XM's another one that you have not seen that lately, and this shows it. There are no announcements going on. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The Discord is not really announced on the Discord. You're just not hearing anything from the Weather XM people. You know, they mentioned they really don't even have any announcements about the Onocoy. There's people in the general talk room talking about it, but you don't really see anybody talking about it from Weather XM. You don't even see them even talking about it. The Onocoy thing. So how big really is it? Like I questioned earlier. So you would think if they had some kind of big part in it, or they were going to really benefit it, they would be announcing it on their side, but I haven't seen anything. All right, moving on to number 9 is going to be grass. Grass's price has kind of stayed the same since our last meeting. Since our last video. So I guess that's a good thing. But when you look at how far they have come down, not really. They're actually almost to the penny exactly where they were a week ago. They came up a little bit in price throughout the week, and they're back down. Actually went down below last week's price, but had a little bit of recovery in the last hour or two. I don't know what's going on with this. I think people are just, this is just me. I have no other evidence of saying this. This is just me and my fat gut feeling. I think people have had enough of the epochs. It's time to pay out. You're going on about a year now that y'all have not paid out. I really think right now we're on Epoch 10. Epoch 10 is supposed to end August 28th. And you have people asking, what are the chances there's going to be Epoch 11? A lot of people are saying you can bet the house on it. There's zero talk at all. If you ask anything about not TGE, about rewards, paying out, epochs ending, stage, this is all stage 2 that you see right here. Is stage 2 going to end? And basically they say we're going to basically move to stage 3 and pay out when we damn well ready. We're too busy working on this and working on this and working on this, working on this. Listen, I understand that, but y'all better open your eyes up. People are pissed on Discord, which there's always people pissed on Discord, and I understand that. But this right here should speak for itself. When you're dropping, you were at 95 cents early in the month, or in the July, you're down to 71 cents now. And at one point you were at 360, 380, 280, back in May, 220. And if it just recently, last month or two, below $1. My thoughts on camera here, this is my show. I think people have had enough of epochs. You can't just pay people once a year. Yeah, you're always going to have people hanging on. Again, I'm going to say this also. This is just my own gut feeling. This is what I've heard a couple of people rumble and say, and it could be a very small minority. We could be completely wrong when we say this, but I don't think people are going to wait another year. Whenever this does pay, whether this pays next month, God forbid if it goes into October, if they go to like 11 and 12 epochs, it's going to be bad. People are going to take their money and run. Nobody's going to sit here and wait for another year of a crypto project to get paid. Yes, some are. Like the people I talked about earlier, there's some people in some countries, this is some great money. But to have to always worry about updating my devices and stuff to get paid once a year, they're going to have to really wow me. And from what rumor, and I'm going to say this is rumor is you're not even going to see as many rewards as you did last year, because last year included, was some kind of testnet bonus. And then plus it was the whole season 1 thing or whatever it was called. You're not going to get all that testnet this time. Now, we'll wait and see. But I'm going to tell you right now, if the rewards are really bad after waiting a year, I know I could be really wrong in this, but grass may not recover from it. People are going to take their tokens, like include me, and get the hell out. Because like I said, it's just not worth it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll take a deep breath and calm down. For right now, all my devices I'm running on grass are going to still continue to run grass until we figure out what the hell is going to happen. And then we'll make those decisions then. Right now, I'm still staking a lot of my grass on BitHarvest Studio and making that interest rate and making a little bit of grass here and there on that. And we'll wait to see what happens after Epoch 27. All right, moving on. Honeygain pawns, and Byte benefit. And then starting next week, you'll see Earnapp also somehow fit into this box. But because they're all paid the same. If you watched my video last night, Byte benefit is one that somebody brought up during our Thursday night live that we do. So that's why you need to be here at live, 7 p.m. Central Time. We do a live on this channel where y'all discuss whatever y'all want to discuss. And we were discussing Earnapp and what happened to rewards, and somebody brought up Byte benefit. I looked into it. It's a project that has been out for a long time. But it only goes on computers from what it looks like, because it tells you can only download it from Windows and iOS, I think it was, or maybe Android, I don't know. But so you can't put it on all your pies and potatoes like you can with these other projects. Honeygain's like that too. But either way, one thing I found with Byte benefit is I put it on 2 out of 3 of my computers so far, and it's flagging. I'm sorry. I installed it on 3 computers so far. 2 have been flagged as VPN/business or something like that, which I don't understand. First of all, they're not running VPNs. Second of all, I thought I was paying residential because it's not on a business account. And I have no problem with Honeygain's pawn or Earnapp running on those 2 networks that Byte benefit doesn't want to work with. I'm not fighting it. Hey, I tried it out. If it works, it works. So right now it's running on 1 out of 3 computers. I'm not expecting to make hardly anything from it. One thing that if you watched my video last night live on the video, I opened my Honeygain account for the first time in ages, and I had $183. I was like, holy hell. I've been eating ramen noodles and bread for lunch for last week because it wasn't payday yet. And I had $183 sitting there. So for right now, I'm letting it sit there. Y'all know I like to use that kind of money when I go on my hunting trips in November. And I'm going to try to hold on to that Honeygain pawns. Now, somebody told me that pawns seems to be doing a little bit better as far as rewards. So I have bumped that up on a couple of machines when before I was only concentrating on Earnapp. And when it seemed like Earnapp and pawns had some kind of conflict, I would take pawns off. Well, now I've reinstalled pawns. So far, I haven't seen any conflicts. But if there's a conflict between Earnapp and pawns, guess which one's getting deleted? You don't have to be Nostradamus to figure that one out. Yeah, Earnapp's gone. I can tell you that because that's just how I am. I get childish and cranky when I get pissed off like that. So that's that. So moving on, the battle for last place. I know y'all love this section. Like I said, WeatherXM most likely will come down to this next week if we don't see some type of improvement or something. I just know WeatherXM, talking to a lot of y'all are in this, and y'all don't have the same attitude as we do with these projects for battle for last place. So that's why I've tried to keep WeatherXM and Grass up there, but it's hard. It's hard to keep them up there and not in the battle for last place section. But DIMO, if y'all haven't checked yet, y'all need to pause this video and go check y'all DIMO rewards. Several of y'all have contacted me with almost a 2x increase in rewards. Yes, about 25 DIMO increase in rewards. So apparently last week when I complained that we didn't see a lot of these accounts dropping off and people quitting and people not getting subscriptions, it finally occurred, and you have more rewards given out. But apparently all more rewards did was lead off to more selling. So I'm going to tell y'all, stop what y'all doing again with DIMO and go check out CoinMarketCap. Let me bring you over there and show you that a little over an hour ago, I updated this pricing and what the pricing was for when you take your devices, divide them by 7 days. This is what you're making per day. Something has happened in the last hour. Look at this. It is 7:30 right now. At approximately 6:15 to 6:30, 6:20, 6:30, 6:15, this price has jumped up 50%. 50%. Now, is it sustainable? You see people can't wait to sell. And just like Entropy and some of these other ones, people just can't handle a good thing. We got to sell now. My tokens are staked. Majority of my tokens are staked. I still, even with this positive, this is a positive thing. Don't take it wrong. I'm happy to see this. Do I think it's sustainable? No. Been here before. We've known in the past where tokens have come up and people just can't handle a good thing and they start selling again. I don't know if there was some kind of liquidity that was purchased. I just looked in the Discord. There's no mention. Somebody tried mentioning this. Of course, the mods got on them and said, you can't mention price in the Discord. I never agreed with that rule. To me, the project can't discuss it. I don't see why me, as the regular customer human being, can't discuss pricing. Whatever. But anyway, this is awesome. I hope it keeps some kind of momentum going. But looking at just what's going on in the last couple of minutes, I hope this isn't a downward trend. But for those of y'all going to really like it. How about that? You know, is at 8.6 cents and it's down to 7.7. So y'all degens, y'all screw up a good thing, but this is good. So if y'all know what's happening with DIMO, y'all can let me know. We'll see if it's sustainable or not. But so, you know, this can, you can raise this price up a few cents of what you're making per day. I don't know if the app has, before this price jump, I can tell you after 20 months, I still have not ROI'd yet. But with the new price, I have ROI'd. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the rest of this stuff. One thing that pisses me off is that my son, where he's at in college, there are no Helium devices anywhere in North Louisiana. I'm not joking. Go look at Helium or Moken or Helium Explorer. They have several hexes, but almost all of them are dead. So I had to take one of my Helium devices down from a host location and ship him a Helium device so I can make sure that he gets he can continue his DIMO streak. I missed out. I didn't get it to him, even though I shipped it out last Monday. It was supposed to get there Friday. Post office lost it for 2 or 3 days. You would think staying in the state of Louisiana, it wouldn't have taken a week, but it did. It took exactly a week. He got it today. So we missed out on his streak. But either way, it's not the end of the world. It happens. So we'll see. I think it's just, it shouldn't be my fault when you have macarons and there's no Helium devices around. But I guess that's the choice I took by buying macarons to hook up to a Helium, right? You know, I don't know. But hey, this is a good thing. I never thought I'd say that about DIMO, but hopefully this price, we'll keep an eye on this price. But guess what, guys? As we sit here and talk, people can't rush fast enough to sell. We're already back down to 0.04. I mean, you look at how quick this went up and down. People couldn't wait to sell. And you know, my sarcastic comment for the night, here it is. If I was DIMO, why put all this liquidity into it? If people are going to rush so fast to sell and kill the liquidity and kill whatever, if that's even what this was, I can understand them from a point being like, we'll just let it naturally happen, whatever happens. If we're going to take the money and put it in there and people are going to clean it out. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Let's move on. Getting late. Helium IoT. You know, there's no news with Helium other than what the price is doing. And price is down another 3 or 4 cents since I updated that one. We're down 3%. We came up a little bit throughout the week and then we're back down. We were at 259, 260 last week at this time. But Helium's another one. As soon as you think it's got a little bit of momentum and it's going up and we start talking positive, it gets killed. And it's an established project. It's got established network, got established cellular on it. What's the problem here? I still hold out hope. No, do I ever see this, even in a hard, strong alt season, do I ever see this getting back up to, you know, $40? Hell no. But I'd be extremely happy for 20. You know, hell, we were back up to almost $4 or $5 not too long ago. It was almost up to $10 a few months ago. I could see it doubling from there and going maybe to 20 in a hard bull cycle when Solana's up to, you know, $600, $700, $800 a piece. I can see this getting carried. I would hope it get carried, but who knows? I'm holding out hope. I own a lot of Helium. Moving on is a project that I don't know why I'm still including it. I know I talked a lot about it in the past. I know a lot of y'all are in it, so that's why I include it. I'm done with it. Other than collecting my raffle tickets at the end of every month, but that's about all I'm doing with it. I'm just pissed off. Again, childish. I understand it. I don't care. It's me and my channel. I can do whatever I want, but I'm done with Silencio. I told you that before. When you look at the announcements page has nothing on it since the beginning of August, so they're not doing anything. And token prices stayed about the same. We are expecting in 6-7 days, should be 6-7 days, raffle tickets, and we'll see what happens with that. Again, I'm in line for about 700,000 raffle tickets just because of how much I have staked. I have 3 months left on my stake, and I am most likely, if we're in I'm hoping the timing is right. I'm letting y'all know this now, so pay attention. You know, here's 2 things I haven't posted in some time. You haven't seen this lately, but my tokens, I do what the hell I want. My plan as of right now, if everything works out correctly, we should be, what I'm hoping, and what a lot of other people online that I trust are hoping, is we are in a good alt season, October, November, December. And I'm hoping Silencio has a little bit of an increase in pricing, and I'm selling. Make some Christmas money for my kids. I'm that burnt on this project, maybe because I can't stand the gimmicks, the whole ads thing. I think the worst thing they did was all through June, give me no ads. Back to the old school days before ads, and get the multipliers. And then come July, throw ads back at me. When as soon as I even open it up for the day, I gotta watch 3 ads, or if I wouldn't even want to participate or pay subscription. Well, y'all saw with DIMO. This is kind of like the whole thing with Cracker Barrel and stuff like that. Are y'all not paying attention what happened with DIMO when people talk about subscriptions? And just like with Earnapp, you have a couple people who are like, I love this project so much, rah, rah, cheer, cheer. And that's all y'all are focusing on. Just like somebody told me something the other day about, you know, negative videos, negative thing. I told y'all, if y'all watched my video yesterday, I told y'all there should be more YouTubers like me. Y'all tell me this is why y'all like it, because I'm real and I'm honest with y'all. And I'll tell y'all how I feel. Some people don't like this. People don't believe that you should be out here doing negative videos. I don't try to do negative videos. I just report on what the shit. Well, I'll see now I'm gonna get in trouble. What the hell is going on? I'm not editing that. What the hell is going on with these projects? If these projects are doing stupid things, I'm going to report that. I'm not going to sit and pretend like I like it. Because I still say what I saw yesterday, that video was, if more people would report or more people would comment what they really believe with these projects, maybe these projects wouldn't go down this deep, dark alley and lose their way. But when all they read on the Discord is, we love this project. Thank you so much for 73 cents today. Thank you for making us pay for a subscription. Dear DIMO, thank you for charging us $13 for prescription, even though I make $7 a month. Or $13 a month subscription, or whatever it is. $12 a month subscription, $8 a month subscription, they make $4. Thank you so much. What would I have did without y'all? You know, and that's just how I feel about Silencio right now. The raffle ticket thing is I don't want to use the S word. I don't like using the word scam, because I don't like using that when I don't have evidence to back it up. But I've talked to enough people to know that a certain group of people, whether you call them YouTubers, influencers, whatever, that helped build that project, spreading the word, we get less tokens, it seems, than people who have less raffle tickets than us. Make that make sense. Oh, because it's a raffle ticket. We'll get rid of the raffle ticket thing. Get rid of it. Pay me each day for what I scan and call it a day. But, you know, technically, you know, Natix doesn't do that. Natix at the end of the month, they pay you just whatever the hell they feel like too. They say this is how you rank, but you have no way of verifying that. But whatever. Done with Silencio. Next. Natix. Oh, well, same thing. We'll figure out what's going on with them after they pay in 7-8 days. Zero announcements from them at all. Price, kind of like Silencio, has not really done anything. I don't know. I don't know what. Hey, it was a free project. It was a free project that when you average out what we were making, it ends up being 22 cents a day. It all depends on what you drive, what you scan. Hey, I still run it. It's just habit now. When I get in my vehicle at the beginning of a day, I'm setting up my SOARCHAIN video phone now thing, because that's doing video. I'm setting up Natix. I'm setting up ROVR. I'm setting up Chirp, KAGE, all on my dashboard, and I'm going to work. Yes, at some point it's going to get old. Like some other people on YouTube said. In Twitter and X, some of these influencers that were doing videos 6 months ago. Look at all the phones I got. And they got lines of phones up on their dashboard. And they're like, you know what? At some point, it gets sickening to do all this for 22 cents a day. Especially right now in Louisiana, because it gets so hot. Even with you blasting the air condition in your face, the dashboard gets so hot, the phone starts shutting down. It just gets aggravating. So now I have to drive around in the summertime with the top vent on, which is supposed to be the defroster, but I have to push the air condition through that to keep the phones cool enough to make 22 cents a day to make sure they don't overheat. Come on, man. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. I'm still holding on, but I really think at some point I'm gonna say like Silencio, screw it. SOARCHAIN. This is piss poor, pitiful. 2.5 hour drives, and you're getting 20 tokens worth 4 cents. This is like not even. It's too funny to even be a joke. You're down 40% in the last month. No end in sight. For the week, you had yesterday a price increase of a little bit for some reason. That easily got sold out, which I don't blame people. I've always said for 100 million token supply, 1.9 billion total supply. I'm sorry, 100 million circulating with 1.9. There should be at least one less zero here, and that's what I keep holding out for. I'll be honest with y'all. Y'all ever see this zero go away? Y'all know Grumpy selling. I did receive my tokens for the DSOAR, which was for the video camera thing, while they were doing testnet for that. Ended up being like $80 worth. It was like 40,000 SOAR. I staked them all, so I'm getting over 100 SOAR a day strictly from staking. So you can really look at it as with the staking and the driving, I'm doing 25 cents a day. Sad. And what sucks is you had to buy the device for this project. So again, that's why it's in the section it's in, called the Battle of Last Place. So you'll probably see this expanded next week, just with the attitude I have. Going into a bull market or into a possible alt season. I don't know if some of these recover. I don't know. Testnet tokens. I'm sorry. My new section. Here's my new section. Right now, my little my thing is blocking it. What's the new section called? The new section is, drum roll please, dead, meaning no rewards. So this is not necessarily a project or projects that the project itself is dead. No, this means that when we try to get anything from it, the project's dead. Any of y'all who have followed my videos for a while know what project is missing from up here. And what's this project? ERWIN. This project currently has $300 in liquidity. It's had 0 transactions for the last 24 hours. For some reason, it keeps saying remove and remove. And before that, that was 4 hours ago. Somebody removed 8 cents and 5 cents from it. And then somebody bought 80 cents and 41 cents 3 and 5 days ago. The Discord is absolutely empty, other than the occasional person that asks every 2 or 3 days, is this project dead? You'll have somebody that says, don't worry, Rob's going to get off, or whoever the guy's name is going to get off of work at some point and help the project out. And then he wants you to buy NFTs. Ladies and gentlemen, I have nothing personal against these guys. They were cool. I used to chit chat with them. You know, between Rob, BFG, Neil, and them, look, I've talked to them in the past. I'm cool with them. I have nothing personal against it. I just know that when you try to do any type of transaction, it fails. You try to claim from your dashboard, it fails. I've had claims back in July, like 3 or 4 of them, maybe more than that, that said they went through, but yet my wallet, if you look at my Solana, in the Solana Explorer, I have not received any tokens since June, even though they were saying successful. I've reached out to them. They were looking into it, never heard anything back. There's just too many question marks. And then now they want people to buy NFT. If y'all buy NFT for this right now, y'all on your own. Hey, I thought it was cool. I thought the whole cat in the box, Erwin Schrödinger thing was a cool thing, cool idea for a cool project. And I jumped in feet first. Didn't think it would get to this point. You know, a project shouldn't have everything leaning on one person. Trust me, from somebody who knows, you get completely overwhelmed between work, family, and then extracurricular stuff like this. I'm running 4 YouTube channels. I got a kid in college that I miss dearly. So but I'm also not getting help around the house like I did before. Trust me, you get burnt. You get really burnt. And you feel like you're not making progress on anything. You got 17 different projects open that you're trying to finish up that you can't get over, whatever. I get it. I get it, Rob. I get it. But just like this, just like a certain third-party software for our Pies project, it all can't hinge on one man. It all can't hinge on one man. If something ever happens to Rob in ERWIN, well, let's just say he wins the $1 billion Powerball lottery and disappears because he's bought his own remote island, a project shouldn't be suffered because of one person. Look, it's easy for me to Monday morning quarterback. I have stuff set up at work the same way. Something happened to me, I don't know what they would do with certain aspects. Some things people would pick up eventually. But my point is, it doesn't make me happy to have to start this new section and put ERWIN there because I liked the project. I hope they can recover. I hope they're not counting on people just buying NFTs to put liquidity back into it, but also on a project that's a meme, DePin type of thing. Because this did kind of copy off of, once Entropy started. I don't know what other means they're going to have to bring in liquidity to boost the $35 or whatever they have in there. Because if you try to sell anything, you can't either. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Good luck to them. I hope they pull through. But as of right now, this is the section they're staying in. And who knows, there might be some more projects they eventually come over here also. Now for my testnet tokens, as if this video ain't been long enough. So I'm apologizing now because this might be my longest video I've ever did. I tried to get through some of the beginning stuff quickly. That's why I put chapters in it. Y'all can skip around. So, but look, I know I've been recording at least 2 hours worth of video easily. So there's no telling how long it's going to be once I edit all this. Wingbits, and actually within the last hour or so, Axie has came on the Discord when people kept asking about TGE mainnet because they don't want to go and sit and listen to the AMA that was recently on the stage, whatever you want to call it. And they kept asking. So he came out with a pretty good announcement. And we're going to go over that real quick. Now, first, before I start getting into Wingbits, and again, I know this is long and I'm sorry, but that's why they're chapters. This is my channel. I get to say what I want. You want to say what you want, you get to do a channel too. Hopefully I don't lose subscribers. I hope I gain more subscribers because I'm trying to be as honest as possible. It has been no secret I'm a huge fan of Wingbits. And while, trust me, nobody wanted to go to TGE mainnet faster than me because, again, I have 15 devices out there, 14 DIY devices that I had to pay for Pies, or I had to pay for antennas, or out the money for internet connections and host deals and stuff like that. Trust me. I have crypto conference coming up later this year. I was hoping to use a little bit of Wingbits profit to pay for it. And so right now I can't do anything. Trust me, nobody wanted to go TG faster than me. Saying that, I have no problem with them postponing this TGE because it's what's good for the company. As wrestling used to say, it's what's good for business. So if you were on the AMA, you heard this yourself from Robin, but you had certain people who came earlier and made comments about what they thought about Wingbits, all of a sudden questioning tokenomics. And what I'm going to say is, while I personally don't know this person, I have talked to him before about some of the things he sells, and I have even endorsed one of his products on this channel because I use one of his products and it's damn good. But y'all have to remember there's always some type of underlining reason for things. And some people, because they know a little bit more than others, believe they can question more things. And I don't want to get too detailed with it because I'm not trying to make this that kind of video. But I read this earlier and my blood pressure went up on the 2 notches. Now, some of y'all might read this and not read in between the lines. But when you start questioning some of the things that you've questioned in this, I know what's in between the lines and it pisses me off. And that's all I'm going to leave it as. So with that, and 1 or 2 more people are asking again about TGE, Mike/Axie came up with this, and it's actually pretty good. And it basically says, TGE mainnet is not yet to be announced. Their goal is the end of Q3 2025, which is what, September, end of September. Originally they were talking about end of August, beginning of September. And you had the AMA, Robin said, hey, we did slide it back some. We don't think it's going to be slid back too far, but a little bit, which end of Q3 would make sense. Now, what I'm going to tell y'all is this date has slid around. It's on a moving scale, sliding scale, whatever you want to call it. It could move back again. When you read what these bullet points are, you understand that why they could be moving some of these. There's even more pilots, customers, partnerships ongoing than ever before. They'll announce them. They can't. This is not new with just Wingbits. We've seen this in other projects also where they would not tell us what's going on until a contract was done, a press release was done, so both companies can be prepared for it, and then they can announce it. But I listened again today to the beginning of the AMA. I will, if I can remember, I promise I'll probably forget, but because by the time I do this video, it's going to be another hour. I'm going to edit the video. It's going to be another hour. I'm going to try to remember. Maybe I need to write myself a note. I'm going to try to post a link of the AMA for Wingbits underneath in my description so y'all can listen yourself when Robin says, hey, we can't announce all the stuff until we're ready to announce it. We can't announce it to the partnerships. But they did say how they did already announce 1 customer, but he said they have several more customers and he even named the industries that they were in. And didn't name the customers, but named the industries they're in, and said they've had more customers that sign up. They can't announce them because there's no contract. I mean, there's no press releases or whatever done, but he says that in the AMA. I don't think he's going to lie. They view revenue as one of the most important factors in going TGE mainnet for the purpose of buyback and burn mechanism. What has Grumpy talked about in the previous projects in this video right here you're watching between Natix and Silencio and DIMO and I don't know, whatever other ones we talked about, GEODNET. When I said, are y'all still selling y'all data? Are y'all still putting it for buyback? Are y'all burning? Because you don't see those announcements with those projects like I just named, like you used to several months back. And so here you have Mike Axie with Wingbits saying, this is one reason why we're pushing back TG mainnet. So we don't have that issue like we're thinking is happening with these other projects. And I can respect that. Hey, we know we're going. This is me. This is Grumpy just paraphrasing, not them. But they're saying, hey, we understand. We know we pissed y'all off. We're going to piss y'all off because we were thinking or hoping we would see it, this certain time frame, beginning of September. But listen, it's what's better for business. It is. We might not like it, but it is. They're actually working on additional deals to have in place for TGE to reinforce this above point. Awesome. Dev team is heavily focused on participating facing items that should be expected from mainnet, but the ability to launch without encountering identifiable solvable issues. We won't be completely tested ready. About above target. Maybe, this is just me. Again, this is Grumpy saying this. This is not this Wingbits team at all. We have not discussed this. We don't really chat too much behind the scenes like we used to. They're too big, too busy for that now. But maybe some of this is because of, even though it's a very, very small percentage of devices, but you saw some devices with high fix, having high fix stations having issues. They did an announcement previous to this on what serial numbers to look for and that kind of stuff like that. Maybe they want to get some of those kind of fixed first too. So by delaying TGE, it gives high fix a chance to fix some of these things. So slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You know, don't rush the goal is one of his quotes he likes to use. TGE will be here before you know it. But like they have said before, and Robin has said this, and Axie has said this, you only have one chance to get TGE right. I can point out 2 different projects on this list who happen to be in the section called Battle for Last Pace that we feel rushed TGE, that went to CEXs and got basically removed from them because they were crap. We don't want to see that happen. Now, remind y'all, they do have, again, this list of possible, you know, serial numbers that might be affected. My WB200, because you know I have the best luck in the world, falls in this range. It's 2,000 units. Luckily, knock on wood, even though they've had some storms down there in lower Louisiana by the Gulf, I have not been affected yet. HiFix is supposed to provide me a retrofit ESD adapter that adds extra protection against discharge. Problem is, this thing's mounted. So the y'all who are saying, hey, this thing's mounted, blah, 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 look, I'm right there with you. The insert is in the final stage of development and testing. Once complete, we will share an announcement to explain the process, requesting one as part of the effective range. While not every stage will fail, the insert helps reduce risk in environments, whatever. So one more thing that they announced. A lot of us that were early adopters, early in this project, we would buy our hexes, and you would have to buy your hex. I want to say they were $20 a piece. And if you bought the hex that you covered, you got, I won't say it was like majority of it don't matter now because it's over with, but you got majority of those hexes. Well, I bought over 2 or 3 months, I bought a bunch of hexes, you know, Louisiana, Gulf, into Mississippi, into Texas and stuff like that. So I'm due a refund. You had a choice if you wanted to do the refund or right then and there, or get it in tokens later. They have announced, just so that we know, those who chose to do the token airdrop will get 100% unlocked within 7 days of TGE. At one point, there was some talk if this was going to be split up or not. Over, like, you know, all these testnet tokens we're doing now are supposed to be split up between, I think it was 12 months or something like that. And they announced that this reward would be split up also. Some people didn't care for that. I didn't care for that because I didn't remember reading that part, but hey, it was what it was. But they're saying now all that will be unlocked in 7 days of TGE. So that's a couple $100 for me easily. Because if you join before November 3rd, you get 150% of your hex purchase value. So that's basically what, $30 for every hex. It's gonna be a pretty decent paycheck for me when I think I bought 20 plus hexes. So anyway, so that's what's going on. I know it's a lot going on with Wingbits. I kind of touched some of it on my live last week. I touched some of it with a video I made, but just so y'all can kind of keep up with it. But again, I know it says 1,000 times, y'all have to be in these Discords. One more thing I want to address, and I have nothing personal against the person who made the comment, but somebody on the Wingbits Discord and I kind of went a little bit back and forth earlier. And look, I've been knowing him since the Helium days. I want to say maybe on Voska's channel. I can't remember. It all blends in after all these years. But anyway, but we went back and forth, and he's not the first one to make the comment. I just don't understand the logic sometimes where people think that Wingbits shouldn't waste their time on CEXs. And I'm 2,000% in disagreement with that. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again before we move on. To me, one of the reasons Helium did well is because it was available in so many areas. Because if somebody hears about Wingbits, your average investor is not messing with DEXs. He's not worried about attaching his wallets and into DEX and like that. He has an account with a CEX that he can do trading every day back and forth on. He's not attaching wallets to DEX stuff, you know. And then the guy made the comment, well, have you not used the DEX? You could attach a wallet. They're quite easy. dude, you know, I mess with DXs. I do videos all the time on them. But the average person, we need as many people as possible to be able to get their hands on this token, to be able to move volume, to help with pricing and stuff like that. If you only do it on the Phantom desk or Solana DEX, you're pigeonholing yourself into less places where it's available. What's the harm with putting it on CEXs to have it available in more places? That makes it easier for people, the common folk, to buy. Trust me, we got people who can barely buy Bitcoin with an ETF. You think they're going to mess with DEXs? You know, I've always said that's why why all beginners are using Coinbase, is because it's a very simple CEX to use. You really think that if Wingbits is available on Coinbase, that's just me saying this, don't take this, but I'm using for example, Coinbase versus it's only available on DEX, you really think there'll be no difference? Come on, man. Again, do what's right for the project, not for your back pocket. I'm gonna tell you what it is, because people have made comments about it on the last AMA. People don't want it on CEXs because they think it's gonna be easier to sell. And I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's also easier to buy. It's the necessary evil. You look at some of these projects that were on CEXs that are only on DEXs now, and their volume went to, you know what? Moving on, it's getting late. 375 AI. No new announcements at all. You know, they made an announcement about CEXs or mainnet or something being a few minutes away. That was back in July. Nobody's heard nothing since. And people keep asking when's mainnet TGE, and they keep saying possibly next month, whatever. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm still running it in the background on my phones. You know, every Monday's a new epoch, claiming the testnet tokens, and just keep on rolling with it. Combinder is only on Telegram. I'll be honest with you, the Telegram is busy as hell, and I don't keep up with it. I don't go into Telegram. I hate Telegram. I'm only on Telegram just to keep up with the guys from Helium Deploy and Combinder, and I'm missing out on both of them. They need to get a Discord if they want me to keep up with it, but it is what it is. I have my 4 plugs here rolling, and it's just rolling. They're just rolling. Whatever happens with them, happens with them. Again, I like the plugs because I can manipulate them or the app, and that's why I'm in the project. And whatever happens with it, happens with it. I think there needs to be some changes that happen, but they're so early, I'm not even going to start voicing my opinions really on that to them. BrushO was supposed to drop previous Friday on Helium Deploy with no rhyme or reason, with no announcement. None of the YouTubers and stuff were told anything. Influencers were told anything, because I mentioned that on the Helium Deploy page. It got postponed to this Friday. I have one supposedly coming. I'm going to demo it for y'all, let y'all know, hey, this is going to be just like the rest of the DIMO projects. Remember what I talked about earlier? Is doing this. If it keeps me out the dentist office with a drill in my mouth, and it helps me brush a little bit better. I did confirm this. Some of y'all said 2 different things. Some of y'all on here said you can use it without it. Some of y'all can y'all can use it with it, the app. I reached out to BrushO themselves and asked them, do you have to use the app? Does the app have to be open with your phone next to you while you're brushing? And their response is yes. To calculate the rewards, coverage, and score, and to activate the FSB, whatever that FSB is, your app has to be open on your phone while you brush. That's what's going to get me, because my phone, I have this routine when I'm in the morning before I go to work. I jump in the shower to wake up, first of all, and to wash up. I get out, I shave, brush my teeth, then I go get dressed. I'm not even looking at my phones. And I'm lazy and old and stuck in my stubborn ways. And I'm not going to get out the shower to go grab my phone to bring it back to brush my teeth. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I'm still going to run the project, still see how it works out and how it rewards, and report back to y'all and see how it is. I think it's a cool idea. $150, $160. Look, I'm not going to act like that's chump change and stuff, but some of y'all bought GeoDNet devices for $700 and Wingbits devices for $400 and $500. So don't act like BrushO is going to kill y'all. Is it cheap? No. $100 isn't cheap. But again, and then we don't know how it's going to reward. We don't know what the brush token is going to be worth. You know, it could be just as bad as Natix and Silencio, who knows? Or it could be like Chirp. Nobody knows. People ask, you know, who's going to buy the data? That's a good, legitimate question that, you know, one of the guys on my Discord asked, and it's a good, legitimate question. But again, it's a toothbrush. You know, I don't know. I don't know what's next. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long night already. I still got to go edit this. That's roughly 3 hours of video that I have made. I swear this video is not going to be 3 hours. We can say congrats to Chirp for, I don't know, 5th, 6th week in a row. Still easily remaining #1. And the way it's looking, I don't see anybody budging them out of that spot at almost $5 a day. So congratulations to Chirp for being this week's leader. Hopefully we start seeing an upturn soon of alt prices, a little smidge of a alt season. But if it's anything like the weather is down here with the summer season we have in Louisiana, it's hot as hell, 100 degrees every day. Knock on wood, all my crypto devices and stuff are out in outdoor boxes. They haven't had anything fail, other than but one, when the location it was at took a lightning strike and I lost the Helium monitor. Other than that, if I can go all summer with just losing that one, it'll be great. But I appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all are back on Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time for our live, and I'll see y'all then. And thank you for the support, and see y'all in the next video.